You remember, I don't know if you were in Frankfurt, but John Rapp was in school, taught he left before I got here in 74. Yeah. So he owned a lot of apartments.
Today was complaints like that. We had a lot of
I think he heard them from his.
Oh.
Go ahead and open up the Board of Public Works and Safety Committee. Please stand.
No, I understand.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Carol, let's do roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets. Here. Greg Miller.
Present.
Megan Sheets.
Okay, next up on the agenda are two sets of minutes. The special meeting on May 19th, and then we also had a regular meeting on May 24th.
Now I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes of the special meeting, May 19th, and regular board meeting of May 24th.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets. Greg Miller. Megan Sheets.
Okay, next we have the claims.
I'll move that we approve the claims that are submitted to us this evening.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Do we have any public comments?
No.
Nothing? Okay, thank you. At this time, I'm going to recess the Board of Works meeting at 5:03. And this we're going to open a public hearing in reference to resolution number 21-11.
You want me to address that, Mike?
Yes, would you please?
Resolution 21-11 is a resolution approving offer and contract for purchase of real estate. This is for the sale by the city of 16 North Main Street, the old utility billing office. And before that, the police station, I believe, at one time. That was left to bid through this board, and the high bid was $71,000 by Digital Farm Management LLC. And they have submitted a contract for the purchase, which has been approved by me. The statute does require that there be a public hearing since it's over $50,000. It also requires that the ultimately the council consent to this, but the public hearing can be before either board. So we scheduled a public hearing and advertised it for today. And it is again for 16 North Meridian Street, and the sale would be $71,000 to the Digital Farms Management LLC. Anyone have any questions or comments?
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and close the public hearing at 5:04 and reopen the Board of Works meeting. Next on the agenda is resolution number 21-11. And that's a resolution approving offer and contract for the purchase of real estate. And as Les said, this is for 16 North Main Street.
I'll make a motion that we approve the resolution approving offer and contract for purchase of real estate at 16 North Main Street with council consent.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Okay, we're going to start in on the department reports. First of all, Chief Shoemaker, Police Department.
Greetings. The first item on the agenda is requesting special event approval for the Heartland Terrace 4th of July parade on it's going to be on July 3rd, Saturday, July 3rd, I believe.
Okay, reviewing this ourselves, I'll make a motion we approve the Heartland Terrace parade tradition, long-standing tradition.
I second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller,
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
That passes.
Some of the agenda, and I don't know if this was sent out, the 4-H parade special event form. I'd asked if we could approve it. It's just, we did not have it last year, but the form, I could not find it. I believe it was turned in to Deputy Chief Skinner. And when I realized I didn't have it, he'd already left for the day. So I'd like to, if we want to wait 2 weeks, but I'd like to recommend approval on that. So I don't know if we can do it. They have turned it in, similar route as every other 4-H parade. So I'd like to get word back to Nancy and the people that are involved in that tonight if I could.
Would you be willing to go ahead and approve that?
I'm comfortable approving that and just, you'll make sure we have that.
I'll get the copy to you and dates and times and all that, but I believe it's the 13th and I'll check of July.
I'll make a motion for that approval.
A second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller,
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Okay, that passes as well.
The builder's risk insurance proposal from our insurance company, McGowan Insurance Group, is also on the agenda. This is the insurance that covers the building project, the new Frankfurt Police Department at 1740 West State Road 28. I think the project limit of the actual building is insured up to $6.5 million. And the total for the premium is $9,227. I believe there's the terrorism premium on there as well. And with the minimum earned premium, I don't know if you've.
Yeah, I looked at what you had and it looked okay to me as long as that 6.5 million covers the hard assets out there. The rest of that bond issue is soft costs and related matters. Did you were those numbers worked through with the architect?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we'd also, originally we had budgeted 40,000 for this, so this is significant reduction in the cost. So hopefully that continues on Thursday.
We had to go through this also with the Prairie Creek park bond issue, we call it. And typically the owner does pay the premium for the use. Now you can put in the bid specs that the contractors are to include that in their bid, but it's kind of frowned on. It's difficult for them to come up with that. So.
Well, once the walls are up and those kind of things, and a tornado or high wind comes through, this would cover that building.
Well, it also covers theft and people going in there and vandalizing and that type.
But the builder, they have their own insurance for their issues. But
And you have the money in your budget, right, in that,
in the bond,
like 60?
Mhm.
Okay.
If for some reason that amount, any of those amounts within that 8,500, for example, 8.5 million, for example, that first $6.5 million figure, if that needs to be increased in the future, we can do that. I believe it may cost a little more with additional premium, but we can always do that. I would think by endorsement.
Okay.
I'll make the motion, we approve the insurance coverage as presented and for the premium that's noted.
I second the motion.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller,
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
as far as department reports, I'm going to be brief. That really what we're working on now is planning for the 4th of July fireworks. That will be at the Prairie Creek Park. We have an overtime detail for the 19th of June, I believe, is the next concert there. And then also putting up the overtime for the 4-H parade. Other than that, there's been a couple weeks of seeing an increase in Just, you know, we've had some overdoses and, we've had a pursuit that ended in Lafayette, and we're looking at that and debriefing on that to make sure that we've done everything we should have done on it with any case that where we becomes there's some minor damage to a car, a cornfield, and those kind of things, and we want to make sure we mitigate any liability on city park. So we're working on that. And we're off the travel land that we've talked about. Talked to the narcotics today. They really never stops out there. So I want to make sure that we'll put a report together for the people that are, have called and asked us about that facility. We've made several arrests out of there, and I believe there was the fatal overdose on Sunday that has caused some concern on that.
Well, thank you for checking into that. I appreciate it.
So that's all I have really, unless there's any questions from the board.
I have a question. Well, actually a comment. July 13th is a Tuesday, so I think that parade
That's
is
wrong.
July 11th.
I'm wrong with that, yeah.
And I think it's at 1 o'clock traditionally, just for the media, so they have that information.
Yeah, that'd be it, Sunday, July 11th. I was close. Thank you, Kurt.
Is it at 2?
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Welcome back.
Yes.
Next up, Fire Department, Chief Kirby.
One thing I have is, I got the 4 contracts to be signed. If you got all read through them and agree, if you have any questions, you can ask me.
Approve them all together, or should we do them individually, or?
There's no reason why you cannot do them all together.
Okay. And then, as Les had told you, I just spoke with him about that as well. We approved those fire contracts, but then they have to go before the council for their consent, which will probably be on the 28th.
Would you like for me to read off the amounts?
Yeah, if you would, please.
Okay. Center Township, 2022, $93,436.80. And we're also looking to do some updates at Station 2. And they said they would be willing to help us with those updates as well.
Okay.
That's not in the contract, but it's kind of,
They'll go ahead and.
yes, gentlemen, they have a line in their budget for building repairs and things of that nature.
Okay,
Jackson Township is a 2-year contract for $40,000 in 2022 and 2023, and with an additional $16,000 for each year coming out of fire queue. So that'd be a total of $56,000.
56. Okay.
Yeah. And then Union Township is $35,000 for 2022, and $35,000 for 2023, and also they will be giving a $10,000 for each year from their fire queue, total of $45,000. Jackson Township, they did an 8% increase throughout the. Tell you that from a year ago, and then Union Township is a 9% increase, and Center Township staying the same. That's what they gave last year.
Okay.
And then Washington Township, they are establishing a fire queue fund. The township trustee said that they haven't heard back from this, so obviously they can't really say we'll give something out of that if they don't have it yet. They did petition the LPF in April, like they were supposed to. I'm just waiting to hear back from them. So they're going to go up to $10,500, which is a 10.5% increase, and it's just going to be 1 year. And then we'll see in 2023 if they come with the fire queue. Yeah.
Okay.
And remember, we only cover a small portion of Washington Township, and Madison Township covers the rest.
Okay. Anybody have any questions?
I'll make a motion that we approve The fire contracts as presented for Center, Union, Washington, and Jackson Township.
I'll second. Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
And then, so I have like the copies here for you guys to sign. I didn't know, should we run these through the townships before we take it to the city council, or through to the city council first? And then take them to the townships. And just so you know, all the townships agreed to these increases. Washington Township agreed, the trustee agreed, said to the increase, but he said, of course, my board's gonna have to vote on it. So, I mean, that would be the only problem. That the rest of them.
Once we pass it, I think we can go ahead and sign them.
Then do you want Carol to keep those and take them to the city council or the next meeting?
Yes.
Or do you want her to give those back to me?
She could probably just keep those
those.
and bring them to the next one, and then if they pass, then we'll have to take them to the townships.
Okay,
She'll wanna make copies for the council.
all right, that's all I have for you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
That was nice. Carol said you
Don,
guys-
Building Services.
Good evening. You have before you the permits in May, totaling 87. And, the valuation or the cost of collected revenue was 16,576 and some change. As the permits still going out, our fences and roofs right now. 30 electricals are starting to pick up a little bit, along with the 50/50 sidewalk program, which is just about completed. It's all, pretty much all,
Really great.
been lined up for. Also in your package, you received a sign from ProBite Computers, as this is a wall-mounted sign in downtown Frankfurt. The ordinance says that it should come from the city plan commission, but I know that anything that goes on downtown on the sidewalk process is a board of works approval, and that is also required with on-sign premises or on-premise signs in downtown Frankfurt. So I'm here to see about your granting permission for this sign that meets all the ordinance standards.
Now, does this have to be approved by anyone else, such as?
Yeah, this comes to
HPC or-
you, and then HPC has to okay it, and then they can go on with it.
And Don, you deem this appropriate as well?
Yes, it's good. It's only 30 inches in roundness, and they're entitled to 4 square foot for every foot of frontage that they have. So it's more than easy to be acceptable. It's wall mounted. It's not going to hang out over the sidewalk. So I've spoken with Main Street about it also. I think they should have a little dog in the fight, and they're okay with it. I gave them a copy of the sign itself, and they have no complaints with it either.
I'll offer the motion that we approve the new signage for ProBite.
And I second the motion.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
That passes, Don.
One more thing, and that is, I met with Arnie's about the alley, and between him and Ellis Jewelry, they've had some questions about some things that can be done or can't be done. I know they're looking at putting single row tables out there. They will be fencing in their grease containers and trash and all the containers in the alley. They're happy to fence those in. There's a couple questions I'm going to talk to the electric about, I basically told them that if the alley would have been vacated, they'd get half, and the Ellis would get half. So just consider that you would get half of the alley to be able to use. And I think they're still trying to figure out what it is they're wanting to do completely, whether or not they're going to put a door from the business to the alley, That was still out in question, but their biggest concern is how do they go about monitoring the tables to make sure that there's just not people sitting on them. So they were discussing all that. I told them that once I came across with some of the electrical issues or wires that they have down there, not that they want them to remove, they don't want that, but they had a couple of things about can they run alongside the building rather than crisscrossing back and forth. So I thought I would go and find out about that. So I guess before you is not really for sure exactly when Arnie's plan to do what it is they're going to do. But I do know that Ellis's are ready to rock and roll on their side. I know that we had discussed the last time the potential of seal coating the alley. I've not gotten quotes on that because I was waiting to see what it was that Ellis's or Riley, I'm sorry, what Arnie's wanted to do, but I'm happy to try to get those quotes for you if you want me to do so.
Regardless, let me ask the board this, regardless of Arnie's plan, I mean, they've been made aware, they've been given some options and to think about it, but if Ellis is ready to go on what I thought was a very thorough presentation on what their plans would be, have we given the final okay to do that, or have we asked Ellis's to hold back just a little bit, or?
We did it because I think at the last meeting you wanted to find out what it was that Arnie's was thinking about doing, and then you would make a decision based on that.
I think part of the question too is they were wanting to add something to the surface of that alley. And our question was if that was going to impede on Arnie's into that the crawl space area or what that was. So I think
I took Jason down and we looked at the alley. We believe that doing anything in a way of paving or milling or anything could potentially cause some challenges with it. We think that just by seal coating the parking lot or the alley, it's really not in bad shape. There's some up close to the Ellis building that has some of the asphalt. It's down to some brick area there, but you're looking at benches and flower boxes being placed along the side of the Ellis building. I don't think that that's an issue. I think seal coating might be the best answer. You can see through the alley that a lot of the precipitation that occurs heads down the center of the alley and to the back. It's not a lip. The alley is just a little bit higher than actually the concrete itself that's as in the sidewalk. But once again, it doesn't cause any type of a trip process on it. The alley's in pretty good shape for as old as it's been and not been sealed or been taken care of. I think sealing it would probably be the best adventure for it.
And we have patrons navigating that alley as it is, I'm sure, to get from the back to the front for Arnie's.
With the potential buyer of Regions Bank, that could even be even more folks coming through there if the buyer would permit parking in the back. So one of the things that I told with Arnie's was that, you got to figure out half of it because Ellis's wants to make sure that people are able to walk through that alley to both your store and to Ellis's. And they were all in agreement with that and understanding that their half would be the half that they would consider. And they were talking all kinds of things, maybe put a 1-inch patio back there to be able to put their tables on. And I can't imagine all that being going on, but who knows? But I know that they're thinking about it. They had some questions about the electrical lines that were in the alley more than anything else, and we're more than agreeable with fencing in their trash containers and grease containers.
So if this is an ongoing project, is that something then, like, as they want to add to this, is that something they'll have to come to you as for this patio or ideas they have afterwards? So this will just pertain to what Ellis wants to do and seal coating that Hallie?
I believe that would be true. I think that you would want to know what Ellis's report, I mean, Arnie's was planning on doing prior to what it is they're going to do. Before granting them, I think opening it up and just saying, hey, have at it, I don't think is probably the right thing to do, but we know what Ellis's wants to do. They want to get started on their project, and we can bring back to you an estimated cost of seal coating the alley. Also think that maybe, depending on how far the fence comes out around their containers, a Ballard may be in need back there, just to make sure that no cars can make a turn or even come down the alley. We may want to look at something like that also. But we can get costs on that also.
So we're needing the estimate for the seal coating prior to the final approval for Ellis's.
I mean, I just think we want a certain project that we want to okay, so that we don't give approval for anything that goes on there that not be something that we want done. So I think if we had specifics that we're looking for to give our approval for, I think that would be great.
And that would be at the city's expense to seal coat that alleyway.
It belongs to the city.
Yes. Okay, well, so Ellis is just waiting for us to put our heads around that just a little bit. Okay.
Do you have any idea on the cost of that, Tom, or Jason?
I don't, I've never really seal coated anything there. I mean, it can't, obviously it's a fraction of what it would be to mill and resurface and pave it, but you're probably talking $20,000 to pave that alleyway. So I would say, I mean, you can buy all that stuff at your neighborhood Rural King or whatever and put it down. But we've got several people in town, Rutledge and Bob Lane, other people that do it. So I'd say probably $4,000, maybe. If that.
If we could, thank you, Jason, if we could gather that information for the next meeting, I hate to delay too much further, allowing Ellis's to move forward with their plans. So, it's just my personal.
Would it be possible if we okayed the plan as presented for the windows, the fireboxes, and then when they seal coat that, to go ahead and approve that so that Ellis can go ahead and get started with that part before we
That's great.
lose that initiative, maybe that they
Yeah,
move
I
forward
like
with that.
that. That's great, Greg. I like that. And it was a motion probably, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, I'll make a motion that we approve the plan as presented by Ellis as it pertains to the wall, the window coverings, fireboxes and benches.
I will second that.
Roll call, please, Carol.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
So you can let Ellis know.
I'll do that.
Okay,
And
and then as soon
we'll
as you
get
can,
you costs.
Okay.
That's all I have.
okay,
Thank you.
thank
Thanks,
you.
Don.
Jason, Street Department, do you have anything for us?
Yeah, just one second, Mayor. He's already delaying. Yeah. Send a text, kind of give you an idea what that might cost. I'll be brief.
Okay.
I believe I sent you all an email earlier last week or late last week in reference to some speed bumps that are being requested on South Ridge Drive. I believe it's between Brooks, I don't even know the other two names of the streets, but anyway, oh yeah, I do. Broadmoor and Brookside Court, inside the division. They're talking about one speed bump somewhere between those two locations. As you all know, they started continuing to build homes out there. We're on our 5th one now. I asked these guys to send an email to me. Obviously, I live in that division, so. But there's only going to be one entrance and one exit out there, and we're going to talk about by the time we're done with 76 homes. A lot of teenage driving out there. But the difference that I see from when my kids were younger there to now is there's a lot of kids back then than there wasn't for a while, and now there's a ton again. There's kids playing around. Obviously, as you've seen on the email, you know, we try to keep it from playing in the street, but kids are going to do what they're going to do. So, the three individuals, Jared Blacker, lives in 1948 Southridge Drive. Dennis Schuster, kind of a catty corner across the street at 1927 and Southridge, and then Brad Compton at 1610 Broadmoor Court were the three that were looking at this. I've talked to other people in the division on and off when I've seen them, kind of let them know that this might be coming. But it would be just a similar speed bump as what you're seeing on Clay Street, what you see on Crescent Drive. You know, we can take those out in the wintertime, obviously, for the plows and put it back in the spring. And obviously going down through Clay Street, if you drive down there, it does slow you down. And this is kind of around once you go around a corner, they're looking at the straightaway, which would come, go into the new division and come out. There's no stop sign anywhere there, coming out of the new division or going in. There is a stop sign coming off of the road that you would turn left on, which people don't usually abide by much anyway, but you can pick up some speed, you know, leaving your home there in the back, or coming around the corner, and it's not a really blind spot. You have some time to where we would put these, and obviously we would put up signage letting people know that they're, you know, they're about to get to one that they probably want to slow down for. But I want to bring that to the board tonight.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and when we get requests like this, it is reviewed on a case-by-case basis. It's not just approved for the aspect, so it needs to be warranted, and I think we all determined it's warranted in this case. I'll move that we approve the speed bump at Southridge.
A second.
Roll call, please, Carol.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Thank you. I'll move forward and get those purchased and we'll get them as soon as we can.
Okay.
The mayor, you'd also brought me to me about autistic signs in here at 859 Myrtle Avenue.
Right.
I spoke with Kelly Barber, is her name. She lives at that address, and then she has a 5-year-old autistic son. And then across the street from her, I don't know that lady's name, across the street from her in that same location is another individual family that has a 6-year-old autistic, I'm not sure son or daughter, but that have been down there and lived down there, and she's wanting some autistic signs put up in that location. We've done this in the past, again, as Megan says, case by case basis, but we put some in recently on Catherine Street. I know the family was happy about that. We were able to put it in a good location, and down there wouldn't be any different. So that's the request you're getting. Like I said, her name's Kelly Barber.
What street is that, Jason?
859 Myrtle Avenue, just right near the boys club.
She had requested that to me, and so I had Jason go down and check that out for us. It was a big concern for hers because of the safety, not only for her own child, but the other child, so.
You know, I thought it might be a bonus too, even though it says slow autistic child or something, at least that word slow is on there, and being by the boys club, that might be even an extra benefit for us in that area. Obviously, that was repaved recently, and anytime you repave the street, it becomes a racetrack. So, but, yeah, I don't see any problem. That's what you guys prefer.
I'll make a motion that we approve usage of the signs as presented by Street Superintendent Forsythe.
I'll second. Roll call, please, Carol.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller. Megan Sheets.
And one last thing, I had spoke to you all about hiring someone on a temporary part-time basis to cover Shirley Cooper's spot while she is off on leave from torn ACL. We would like to hire Christopher Timmons based on a pending background in drug screen. get him in as soon as we can. Obviously, we're using full-time guys on the back of the truck. We're a little short-handed now with the accident we had recently, so get somebody in here, the quicker the better. So we're talking, I'm guessing that's an 8 to 12 week rehab injury, if not more. And I obviously made him aware of what we were offering him. And I told him if, something happens, then surely we decide not to come back or something, it could become permanent part-time, but right now it's just temporary.
And have you been able to get the background check and the drug
Everything on the
testing
background
started?
came back except for, there's one county that hasn't given us the information. I believe he worked in Marion County construction for a short time. We not got their information back, we got everything else back, and they were gonna get his drug screen scheduled.
HR said there's some delay in getting that type of information right now, probably due to employee shortages.
Okay,
I'll approve the pending hire, if you will, of this potential employee, pending the completion of all the background checks and the drug testing and so forth, all the protocol, yes.
I second the motion.
roll call please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Okay, thank you, Jason. Park. We're ready for the Parks Department.
Alright, good evening. The first thing I have is, last time you guys had approved the Gem City Band, for the 4th of July, we didn't have the official contract. So I brought that, Carol has a copy of it, it's the one that Les has approved. I think last time we just had like a paper copy.
It's just the papers, and
Yeah.
yes.
So you guys did approve that, you just wanted the official contract.
So we need to sign off. Do I need to sign off? Okay. So with that already being approved, I guess we need to probably move on to the other approvals then.
The second thing I have is the Harmony Baptist Church wants to have the small worship service 2 different times. One is 7/24, so it'll be July 24th, and the next one's August 14th. So Pastor Darren Stidd, he just wants to have some music and some small worship service. The first one would be at TPA Park, and the second one would be at Veterans Park. I did have one planned for Prairie Creek Park, but that has already been passed, so they didn't do that.
Okay,
So they don't, at TPA Park and Veterans Park, both, they don't need anything from the park at all. They just
okay,
need
they can
to-
just use the ground.
Reserved.
Okay,
I'll make a motion, we approve the Harmony Baptist Church vote, dates of 7/24 and 8/14.
I second the motion.
roll call please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Thank you. The next thing I have is Kimberly would like to have Colton Motion at TPA Park on July 4th. So it would be from 9:30 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. They tried to do it last year and it was originally talked about, but then it just had to be canceled because of COVID. So basically what that entails is there's some Colts cheerleaders, there's some of their staff, they can look at, kids can look at the Lombardi Trophy, they can throw a football to a football player, like the image of a player. There's also a green screen that they set up and you can race against players. So it's pretty neat and it's just a 12-hour thing. We would put them in front of the pool house at TPA Park.
Sounds like an exciting event.
She's really excited
I
about
bet.
it.
I'll make a motion that we accept the approval of the Colson motion for July the 4th, 9:30 a.m. to 9:30 p.m.
No, heartily second.
Roll call.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
The next thing we have is at Prairie Creek Park, and this is the Frankfurt High School Class of '85 reunion. And so the things about this is they will be serving alcohol. It'll be between 100 and 125 people, and they'll be using the pavilions, the event center, and the beer garden area.
Okay, and I'm assuming that they have all the permits that they need for the alcohol,
I think
right?
they're hiring someone to run the permit.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Was that you? That's me.
I just to verify, that is the class of 1985?
Yes.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we approve, the use of Prairie Creek Park for the Frankfurt High School class of 1985 reunion.
Do we need to stipulate the amount of law enforcement that's required?
Possibly. At least double that. He may be there.
I was two. I was two in '85.
Nice.
I'll second with Greg's motion. That's what I call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The last thing I have is also at Prairie Creek Park. This is for the event center and the stage, and it is an employee celebration from the actual Farmers Bank. So this is a part of their fee was waived because it's a part of their naming rights when they first did that. So, but same thing. It's about 130 people. They will have a permit for alcohol, and then, like always, if there's going to be alcohol, we just forward it on to the police department. They make the determination whether or not they have police there.
I love seeing the use of Prairie Creek Park. This is starting out like gangbusters, so I'll offer a motion to approve the Farmers Bank event at Prairie Creek Park on 8/17.
I second that motion.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
That's approved as well.
All right,
Thank you.
that's all I have, unless you guys have any questions.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, folks.
Annie, community development. What do you have for us? A few things.
We've received some indication that the public is concerned about access to the post office. And so we did share some information today and want people to know that they can get to the post office. It is not completely blocked off. Even if Washington Avenue is being worked on, people can access it from Clay Street. That's normally an exit for the post office, but they have approved its usage as an entrance and an exit. So if anyone in the community is concerned about getting to the post office, encourage them to use the Clay Street Drive and parking space.
Thank you.
I've been working with Mike Beck with Utilities on updating our new website with the utility information, and that's been going really well. We're hoping to have them migrated over to the new website pretty soon here. Along with IT, we've been working with utilities on getting emails converted over. And according to Shane, he has converted everything except police and fire and elected officials. And I don't know what the plan is yet for City Council, Board of Works to get those migrated since it's not a city computer. So I would encourage council members and Board of Works members to contact IT directly if you're using the city email account so that it can be converted to a better system than we've had in the past. I know Chief Shoemaker mentioned some overdoses. We were contacted some time ago by Carol Price, who was applying for a grant to get opioid rescue kits. And as a result of that grant, we did have this week a box installed here at Old Stony and two at the parks. I think one at TPA and one at Neighborhood Center. Where did it go to?
Yep, and next week we're getting one at Prairie Creek Park.
So we'll have a fourth and we'll have another one out at Prairie Creek Park. And those are all typically on the exterior of a building. So if someone is there and there's an issue or an overdose, people have resources to help possibly save someone who's overdosing. City auction is June 26th, and we'll have more information out about that a little bit closer to that date. I know that the auctioneer was getting photos and posting stuff to his website. And I'm still working on getting a parking map that shows city parking for Prairie Creek Park events. But once I have that completed, it'll be up on our website. That sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you. Department heads, just make sure that you get your items ready for the auction. Are you ready for them, or are you getting?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as they want to start bringing them out, it's gonna be a quick one, Mary, just so you know, there's just not a lot there.
No, out there. Okay.
Unless something comes in here next couple of weeks that I'm not aware of, it's gonna be pretty short and sweet.
And that, is that gonna be a 10?
Yes. It was enough, he said, if you're going to be there, don't be late, because it won't last long, he said, so.
And just make sure that everything that you take out to put in the auction, that you take it off of your assets, bring it to the Board of Works for approval. Okay, human resources, did you have anything?
I do not have anything.
Okay, Les, you're next.
The only thing I had was the 16 city.
Okay, you don't have anything else? Okay, does anybody have anything under old business? New business? Okay, I'll take a motion.
Move to
Second.
Okay, thank you everyone for coming.
Yeah, awesome.